We visit Mike Lawton of Oxford Space Systems to talk inventions and satellites.
Mike, thanks very much for joining us at B4. Now apparently, Oxford Space Systems, where we're based here today, you're experts in the art of deployable structures. I haven't got a clue what that means, so perhaps you could explain a little bit more.
Well, every time we launch a satellite, we have to stow it in a really efficient manner so it sits in the little tip end of the rocket. And that means things like solar panels, antennas, and a whole paraphernalia of things that we need to hang off the side of the satellite when it's in orbit need to be folded in a really neat way against the side of the satellite. So these structures that need to deploy once on orbit are deployable structures. So OSS is in the business of designing, developing, and flying a new generation of deployable structures.
I understand you're currently looking after or monitoring one of your products in orbit at the moment.
Yes, so we're working on some quite revolutionary materials, all designed to improve stowage efficiency and reduce cost and complexity. But before the market will buy a new material, we've got to prove it ourselves in space. So we've set a record for the space industry, going from designing and developing a brand new material, a highly flexible composite material that we launched in September last year. And we're currently flying it above us. It's whizzing around for the next 9 months, proving and validating some of the claims we've made about this material.
And so far, so good?
It's excellent. Yes, we're getting some really good results back from the satellite, some great high-resolution photographs from orbit, and so far the boom system is really behaving itself. So we're really, really pleased.
Excellent. And space and the whole space industry, as I understand, focused all here in Oxfordshire. We're very fortunate to have such an infrastructure here in the county.
Yes, space is one of 7 sectors identified by the government of being strategically important to the UK economy. And we're fortunate in Oxfordshire that the focus of the UK space economy is being driven out of the Harwell campus. So this is Space Cluster UK, where a lot of government support is pouring into companies and infrastructure to make sure that we remain leaders in the space industry.
Lots of sectors that we deal with through B4 say that they're struggling to get the youngsters in through the ranks and encourage them to work with them. I understand you experience similar problems in your industry, which is surprising.
Yeah, I think actually space has become a victim of its own success. You know, we're trying to grow as quickly as we can, but we need really smart talent to come in and fill those positions. So actually making people aware that we have a space industry is probably one of the biggest challenges. And then of course getting them to consider a career in space engineering over any other type of engineering is also a double challenge for us. So we've actually had to look way beyond even the UK and Europe. So my team is comprised of Italians, Mexicans, Indians, Polish. We just need smart engineers wherever we can get them.
And you go into schools and you spread the word in that way, I presume?
Yeah. So I actually see the fact that we receive quite a bit of support from the government, almost a moral duty to get out there into schools, universities and colleges and almost evangelize about a career in engineering. So I love going to schools, I love demonstrating the technologies we're developing and hopefully inspiring a new generation of engineers.
And I know you're very tempted to hit me in the face with with what you've got in your hand here, but we talked about the product that you've got in space. I understand this is it here.
Yeah, so most people are familiar with carbon fiber, normally a solid, rigid material. Yep. But if we play around with the way the fibers go together, the type of glue or resin system that we use, and then the way we bake it, we can make carbon fiber do really interesting things. Yeah. So here's an example of a deployable carbon fiber. And the reason it's silver and not black is another area of our intellectual property is making this really tolerant to the aggressive space environment. So things like temperature extremes and high doses of radiation means we need to modify the surface in a certain way to make sure it will survive a mission. And what we're looking at here is a surface modification where we've altered around about 10 microns of carbon to hang on to atoms of aluminium.
Mike, I first met you at the launch of the 2017 Oxfordshire Business Awards, and you gave a speech about the benefits of winning last year, the Innovation Award. I understand that's not the only award that you've won recently.
Well, the year before, in 2015, we in fact picked up quite a prestigious national award. Oxford Space Systems was voted the best technology startup at the British Engineering Excellence Awards, and we were up against all sectors, automotive, nuclear engineering, everything. So to come out top was obviously fantastic for us.
So Mike, satellites, we stood in front of this fantastic video wall here, which I'm sure, is it good for football and rugby and everything as well, or is it just for
Great for Xbox as well, yeah, great for gaming.
But these images you were telling me earlier are transmitted via satellite, is that correct?
Yeah, everything we're seeing on the screen behind us are high definition pictures coming from satellites orbiting above us, and as you can see, how incredibly useful these sorts of images can be. So commercially, they're used to monitor land use, police deforestation, etc. And I think what is going to be really quite exciting with this sort of imagery, the more frequently we can get these images, the more useful it is to us as people. So imagine you want to book a hotel and go on holiday. Wouldn't it be great to be able to look on the website and actually see an image from space? So is there a building site next to your hotel? Is the beach as clean as they claim? Is the swimming pool really, really empty, or is it really busy? So those are the sorts of things we'll be able to do as members of the public using this imagery direct from space.
And you've kindly agreed to speak at Business in Oxford in May. So I presume you'll be talking more about products like this and everything else that you do here at OSS.
I'll bring whatever I can carry to the stage to demonstrate. So we've got
rockets.
Some, unfortunately no rockets, we're not allowed to light engines indoors, but we'll bring some great products along to hopefully inspire folks.
Thank you. Well, appreciate your time and we look forward to seeing you in May.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.